I'm just going to start with questions coming in right now and the questions that have been coming in overnight on Yahoo, because there's one from Bruce, which is one of the ones that we've heard most often, which says, if the president gets a second chance to serve the American people, how will he convince voters that his second term will be better than his first? Jim?
Well, look, the president's building an economy built to last from the middle class out that involves investments in infrastructure, education, to grow the kind of economy we all need. And that's the choice in this election. And it's a choice that we're going to be laying out in this convention and for the next 63 days until the election.
But let me ask you about something that seems to be a moving target of a question in the last few days. It was a year ago the president said to George Stephanopoulos, when asked about, are you better off than 4 years ago? Well, I don't think they're better off than they were 4 years ago. And yet over the weekend, we have seen the question shifting a bit. And the vice president said the country is better off than it was 4 years ago. What's the distinction?
Well, I think that the country is better off. The vice president said it best yesterday. You know, GM is alive and Bin Laden is dead. And, you know, we've made some real progress since the day the president took office. Let's remember what life was like back then. We were losing 800,000 jobs a month. In the 6 months before he took office, 3.5 million jobs were lost. The housing crisis was, you know, impacting middle-class families all over the country. The auto industry was on the verge of bankruptcy. Taxpayers were bailing out banks. And let's take a look at where we are today. Our financial system is the most stable in the world. And we've put protections in place to ensure that taxpayers never have to bail out banks again. We rescued the auto industry. GM is number one, as the vice president said yesterday. The housing industry has stabilized and is on an upward trend. Middle-class families, $3,600 worth of tax cuts. Their taxes are $3,600 less today than they were when the president took office. Small businesses have 18 different tax cuts that they're using to build small businesses, but also starting new ones. So we've made significant progress, but the point is this, that the president has always said that returning to where we were at the start of the recession isn't good enough. Because life wasn't great for middle-class families back then. There has been decades worth of erosion for middle-class families, so we have to do better than that, which is why the president is doing the things that he's doing, fighting to ensure that we can continue investing in education, which is the single most important ticket to a better future and a strong middle class, which is critical for our economy. We've, passed historic health care reform so that your economic security doesn't depend on your health security. We're investing in innovation so that, the next great invention is an American invention. All of these things are important building blocks that we need to put in place to build an economy that's strong over the long term. Jim mentioned an economy built to last. These are things that the president is putting in place. We know what to do if we don't want the economy to last, right? Risky financial deals, outsourcing, tax loopholes that only those at the top can take advantage of. That creates an economy built on a mountain of sand, basically. So the president has turned that around. We're moving forward. There's more that we need to do. And I think what you'll hear this week are some of those concrete, tangible things that we need to do forward.
So the president on Thursday night will be saying the country is better off than it was 4 years ago. Will he be answering the, are you better off? And is there a distinction?
I think that, I don't want to get ahead of what the president is going to say specifically in his speech. But I think that over the course of this week, you'll hear from our different speakers and videos and other ways that will illustrate what the country has been through over the past 4 years and some of the moments of some tough decisions that we've made, often unpopular decisions to do what's right for the country. But you'll hear the president say we've made progress. Absolutely, we've made progress. We are better off than we were 4 years ago, but that is not good enough. We are not done yet.